Hi friends, welcome to our channel Popcorn. Today, we are going to discuss the story of a horror mystery movie released in 2024 in Tamil, titled 7/G. Now, let's start our video. The opening scene of the movie introduces us to Rakesh and Varsha, a married couple who both work in an IT company. They also have a child. Their long-standing dream is to own a house, and now they've finally purchased one. On the day of their housewarming ceremony, they plan to throw a party for all their friends on the apartment terrace. Rakesh's friends attend the party, and among them is Rakesh's ex-lover, Nisha, who also shows up. Rakesh and Nisha had broken up long ago, and after that, Rakesh married Varsha, with whom he now has a baby. However, when Nisha sees Varsha at the party, she becomes envious and feels bitter about not being in Varsha's place. While everyone else is enjoying the party, Nisha sneaks into the house and places a cursed doll inside. She then leaves the house and pours some kind of liquid on the name board outside. At the same time, the elderly uncle and aunt living next door witness everything that Nisha does. Varsha comes downstairs and sees Nisha alone in the house. She asks, "What are you doing here alone? Everyone is upstairs enjoying the party." Nisha simply dismisses it and says, "Nothing," brushing off Varsha's question. Varsha doesn't think much of it and leaves, while Nisha climbs on top of a stool and begins doing something suspicious. Despite Varsha getting an odd feeling, she ignores Nisha and goes back upstairs. Everyone at the party has a great time, and by late night, all the guests, including Nisha, leave the place. The next day, Rakesh gets ready for work as usual. When he goes to the office, the CEO calls him in and gives him a promotion, but also tells him that there is an urgent meeting in Bangalore, and Rakesh needs to travel immediately. Rakesh is very happy about the promotion and returns home to share the news with Varsha. He tells her, "I have to leave for Bangalore urgently for this meeting, but one thing is bothering me. I haven't been able to spend even a single day with you after moving into this house." Hearing this, Varsha reassures him, "Don't worry about that. You go ahead to the meeting. If I need anything, I'll ask the neighbors or the watchman. You don't need to feel guilty about it. Go and attend the meeting." Feeling relieved, Rakesh gets ready and leaves for Bangalore the next day. Meanwhile, Varsha stays home, organizing everything and taking care of their baby. At this time, some workers come to install the new TV in the house. They fix the TV on the wall and tell Varsha that they'll return the next day to set up the cable box. Varsha then tells the workers, "Please install the TV in the same place where the nameplate was fixed by the previous owners." As the workers start drilling to install the TV, strange things begin to happen. They hear eerie sounds, but continue working. Suddenly, the drilling machine stops working, and the workers go to Varsha and inform her, "Ma'am, the drilling machine has broken down. We'll come back tomorrow to fix it." After informing her, the workers leave the house. English translation: After finishing the drilling work, the workers approach Varsha and say, "Madam, the drilling machine broke down. We will come tomorrow and fix it as well," and then they leave. After that, Varsha places the TV box in the attic. While doing so, a strange doll falls from the attic and breaks. Immediately, a spirit emerges from it. At that moment, the aunt living next door feels something is off and rushes to Varsha, intending to say something. However, her husband stops her, saying, "Why are you getting involved in matters that don't concern us?" From the moment the doll fell, strange incidents began happening in Rakesh's house. That night, they hear a crying sound, the TV turns on by itself, and various other unusual things start happening. Varsha, however, convinces herself that it's just her imagination because this is a new house. Meanwhile, Rakesh's ex-lover, Nisha, is seen in her home with Rakesh's photo, chanting some incantations. Later, while Varsha is taking a bath, she hears the doorbell. After finishing her bath, she goes outside to find a salesman at the door. He says, "Madam, half an hour ago, a lady from this house bought 2 drawing books and gave me a superscript 1/500, asking me to bring the change. I've come to give you the remaining change," and he proceeds to hand her the money. Varsha, confused, replies, "There's no one else in this house but me, so you must have come to the wrong house." The salesman, determined, says, "No, madam, I've come to the correct house." The books are still there on the table, pointing to two drawing books on the table. Varsha, now alarmed, wonders what's really going on and takes the change, though clearly unsettled. Varsha checks the CCTV footage, and it shows someone taking the A superscript 1/500 note from her bag, but only the hand is visible, and no face can be seen. This terrifies her, and she decides to tell Rakesh about it but hesitates, thinking he might be busy with his meeting. She calls her friend and narrates the entire incident. Her friend, however, dismisses it, saying, "It's just a new house you are overthinking." The next day, workers come to fix the set-top box and nameplate. While drilling the nameplate, they notice blood seeping from the wall. Terrified, the workers run away, leaving the job unfinished. Varsha, now extremely scared, calls her friend again and explains what happened. Her friend, still skeptical, says, "I don't believe what you're saying. I will come over tonight and stay at your place to see for myself if these strange events are happening." That night, Varsha's friend arrives and stays over. However, in the middle of the night, Varsha's friend gets a phone call. When Varsha goes to check, her friend is nowhere to be seen. Her friend, on the phone, says, "From the moment I entered your house, a spirit has been threatening me to leave, and I don't know how, but I ended up on the terrace." Her friend doesn't appear anywhere. While talking on the phone, her friend says, "Since I came to your house, a spirit has been threatening me to leave. I was terrified and ended up on the terrace without knowing how." Her friend then tells her, "You should do something. Search online for a way to get rid of spirits." Varsha, in fear, searches online, which raises the overall data. At the same time, Varsha's son is calling out from outside. Varsha rushes out to find her son floating in the air. She hurries to save him, leaving her neighbor, and Anku, to notice her distress and come over. Anku says that the spirit in Varsha's house is named Manjula, and Anku explains that Manjula's spirit has been lingering in the house and is connected to an old story. Manjula lived in the house with her father. After her husband died, Manjula lived with her father, who had married again and had children. Manjula's father was a notorious gangster who had made a lot of enemies. He took refuge in the house, and after his death, the gangsters came to threaten Manjula. They demanded money from her and threatened her son. Terrified, Manjula signed a paper to give up the house but was still threatened. The gangsters then caused the gas leak in the house, resulting in a fire that led to Manjula's death. Afterward, Anku, who had learned about Manjula's story, came to check the house. The news reported it as a common fire accident. Later, after Manjula's death, two gangsters came to paint the flat. While cleaning, Manjula's spirit attacked one of them, and another managed to escape. Witnessing this, the remaining gangster decided to perform rituals to banish the spirit. A priest was called to conduct a powerful ritual. Manjula's spirit was captured and placed in a doll, which was then kept on the attic shelf in the kitchen. Varsha, while trying to place the TV box on the same shelf, accidentally knocked the doll down, releasing the spirit again. Manjula's spirit then confronted Varsha, accusing her of trying to harm her son. The spirit explained that it was not Varsha's intention to kill her son but rather an accident. Manjula's spirit then tells Varsha, "I did not intend to harm your son. I was only trying to get rid of the gangsters who had wronged me and my family. I will leave once this is done." Varsha, in distress, asks, "What should I do to resolve this situation?" Manjula's spirit tells her to leave the house and find a way to cleanse it. Then, Manjula's spirit says, "I will leave once I get help." Varsha, grateful for the help in saving her son, agrees to assist. Meanwhile, Rakesh is being attacked by someone in his home. Noticing this, Varsha informs her friend, and her friend contacts her. Varsha asks Manjula's spirit for help, and Manjula's spirit guides her to Nishad, explaining the situation. Nishad, terrified, decides to leave town. After this, Manjula's spirit, still upset about the death of her friend, tries to harm Nishad. However, she cannot kill Nishad because of a protective amulet placed by the priest. The spirit can only cause harm if the amulet is removed. Varsha helps Manjula by gathering documents related to the house and asks Manjula to guide her in dealing with the spirit. That night, Varsha brings the documents home, uses some magical words to distract Rakesh, and takes the amulet from around his neck. Eventually, Rakesh, still under the influence of alcohol, wakes up and sees Manjula's spirit, which frightens him so much that he decides to leave immediately. Manjula follows him but does not harm him. Instead, she tells him that she doesn't wish to create more trouble and only wants to protect her own. The next day, Rakesh returns to Bengaluru. Varsha and Rakesh, relieved and content, live peacefully. And that concludes the story.